side by side I look like a crazy person. So we're gonna do a little bit of an experiment, because I feel like oftentimes when people look at side by side with makeup, they don't necessarily believe that a color is gonna look that different on different skin tones, because we don't really think about it in our heads what really goes into that. I'm gonna do a lighter side on this face and a little bit darker on this side. Honestly, this side is gonna be pretty close to my skin tone, but this side I'm going to make lighter. So I'll be right back while I do that to my skin. I'm also gonna try to do my eyeballs too, so that you can really get a picture of like what eyeshadow would look like here versus eyeshadow here. I'll come back after I've set my face and things like that. I am going to use the Juvia's Place I Am Magic foundation. This is a very, very high coverage foundation. On this side of my face, I'm going to do the lighter shade. On this side of my face, I'm going to do the deeper shade. I am using this, just so happens to be one of the few foundations that I have such a light and such a dark, because I have some of this in my professional makeup kit. I'll speed through applying it. I am going to put an orange base on this side, because if I don't, you'll see it'll end up looking really gray, which we don't want. We want it to be a semi-decent, accurate impression of lighter skin versus deeper skin. So I'm gonna fast forward and you can watch me apply it. Wow, I look like an Oompa Loompa. Wow, I can't even picture being this white. That actually worked pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and set this side. All right. Now we're gonna use my shade. Close to my shade, I should say. I mean, I know the shade is off on this one, and honestly, trying to find the exact shade in the same foundations, I don't have it. Ignore the fact that that's in my hair. Now I've got to powder this side. All right, the final craziness. All right, first thing to note, side to side. Now, if we can agree, honestly, these aren't even that far apart in color. Left to right, or left to right, sorry, got my left and right mixed up. These are similar colors. Well, I say similar colors, but they're not that much darker than each other. Let's dive into this a little bit more. I'm thinking let's start with blush. All right, I'm gonna start with the Nars Orgasm Blush, because this is the one that everybody always says is universally flattering. And that drives me nuts. Get a decent amount on there, right? And then on this side, I've got a little bit of a hard pan, but it's starting to break through. But you can see this really is a pretty color. Let's see what happens when we try to put it on this side. Next to nothing. Nothing. Like maybe something, but nowhere near what it is on this side. So first of all, this is a universally flattering blush, and it barely even shows up on this side. I need to do my eyebrows. It's distracting. I'm gonna do them and then I'll be right back. I put a little bit of something on my eyebrows so they didn't look quite as crazy. The next, we're gonna do our eyeshadow. This is one that I feel like people don't really think about when it comes to switching between eyeshadows for different skin tones, because I feel like people don't think about how different eyeshadows affect those skin tones. We're gonna use this Retro Glam palette. Now, I bought this because I loved the color story, but I very quickly realized that very few of the shades were really deep enough to give me like a really good look with it, at least for my complexion. Now, this other side, different story. So I did go ahead and like set my eyebrows with this color, so hopefully nothing wipes off as I'm going, but I'm going to show you why this makes such a big difference. We're going to go in first with this color Belle. We're going to start on this side, and we're just going to put that into our crease. Now, I'm going to show you the same thing on this side. And I went over it 3 times. All right, one more time just for good measure. But side to side, do you see how that's not going to necessarily show up? I'm going to go ahead and deepen that out just a little bit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this Jazzy shade, and we're going to kind of come up and go into that piece. So this one right here. And again, I'm actually just using the same brush. Now, this Jazzy shade is the deepest shade in the Retro Glam palette. It is a shimmer shade, though. Nothing wrong with a shimmer shade, but I'm letting you know, it's a shimmer shade. Okay. We're gonna blend that a little bit, but see what happens when I place it on this side. It just doesn't show up as deeply. Now, granted, it's a shimmer shade, it's not really meant to show up deeply, but still, like side to side, I've used the same colors. It looks nothing alike. All right, I'm gonna take this fluffy brush and kind of blend out some of these edges just with nothing on my brush. All right, we're gonna go in with this evergreen shade. That's the second darkest color. We're gonna go in with a brush that's gonna pack on the pigment a little bit more. Now, I have to say, I wasn't trying exorbitantly hard, but the look from side to side, I used the same eyeshadows on both sides and they look very much different. Like I could really honestly build up something really nice on this side, and I'm not going to be able to get to that same level on the other side. And it's just because that these colors are just light. Now, there's nothing wrong with light colors, but I think that sometimes it's easy to forget that lighter colors do mean that the people that are able to use it are not necessarily going to be everybody. Now, granted, I know plenty of times where I've heard people with more fair skin be like, oh, it just has such dark colors in it. Sometimes I actually feel the opposite. Like, I'm like, it doesn't have dark enough colors for me to actually use it. I feel like this side doesn't look horrible and this side doesn't look horrible, but side by side, I look like a crazy person. Let's move on to lips. We're gonna do this color. This is Pillow Talk. It's, again, supposed to be universally flattering. It's just a mini size. I think I got it for free. All right, I have to say, this lipstick, on this side, it looks very concealer-esque. On this side, I don't think it looks bad. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that I looked very Victorian England right now, I don't think it would be a bad color. All right, we're gonna do one more lip color because I feel like it. And it's gonna be this deep brown color because I love a brown lipstick. I have to say, this is gonna look great on this side. It might look a little bit much on this side. So on this side, it's very, very like aggressive and goth. On this side, it's not bad. It's still kind of aggressive, but it's not as bad. Goes to show that really the different colors can look very different depending. I'm gonna put on a little bit of bronzer. All right, I'm gonna put on a little bit of bronzer because I feel like both sides are looking a little bit crazy. I'm gonna use this Laguna bronzer. Now, this is just for the sake of this video. I don't think this is gonna be dark enough for this, but on this side, it's gonna be beautiful. Do you see how that's starting to like shape everything out? Like I'm still pale, but I'm not crazy. If I were to try to use this on this side, nothing. Like I literally think, yeah, it's like the same shade. I'm gonna put a little bit of a different bronzer on this side. I hope you can see that from side to side, these makeup products really do look different and perform differently. Like this side by itself doesn't look bad, but there were a lot of products that aren't going to show up well or at all on this side of the skin. Some of those are universally flattering ones like the Pillow Talk, and sometimes it's just because there's not very many shades of that or you need a different item. Hopefully this was helpful. I mean, I know I looked like a crazy person this whole time, but I hope it helped you to be able to see a side-by-side comparison of what some of these products actually look like on a specific skin tone and side by side. If you like videos like this, please go ahead and like and subscribe. I post at least one long video a week and then multiple short videos every single week. Bye!